Hello, traders. FS Speculator here. Today is Wednesday, and it is March 26th. So, how's everybody doing today? Hopefully, everybody's doing fairly good. Everybody's having a fairly good Wednesday. The euro dollar just recently just made a pretty impulsive move to the downside, which, to be honest with you, definitely makes sense because the next Fibonacci level is the 38%, and it might even end up going beyond that now that we got the solid break of structure. So that's good news. Hey Enai, how's it going? Yeah, let's look at Bitcoin first because he was very on it with his request, so I'll be more than happy to look at anything, basically. If anybody has any requests, put them in the chats. Be more than happy to look. But yeah, he is from my free Discord community. If you haven't joined the free community yet, definitely check it out. If you put your request in early, then you can definitely get your analysis right away for sure. 100% free to join. So Bitcoin. I haven't looked at Bitcoin this week because I don't currently trade Bitcoin, but I am definitely very confident about my analysis. Bitcoin actually does make some very, very, very clear patterns, Elliott wave patterns. So it's actually great if you do trade cryptocurrency to learn some Elliott wave and Fibonacci analysis, Elliott wave, Fibonacci, and structure for sure. So definitely looks like a possible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, Sandy, how's it going today? Nice to see you, buddy. Thanks a lot. Very happy to see you. I do these live streams every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So anyways, following the structure on the UJ and EJ, pound and euro dollar, please. Yeah, definitely. Let's do the Bitcoin analysis, and then I'll look at the UJ, ZJ, and the euro dollar for sure. If anybody has requests, just put them in the chats on YouTube. Be more than happy to look. So to me, this seems extremely clearly to be a wave A right here. It's even 5 waves down. I know this is the weekly time frame. It's a really high time frame, but whenever anybody asks me to look at something, the first thing I do is look at the weekly and the monthly because a lot of times you can find some major clarity on those very high time frames, like we just did with Bitcoin. So going down to the daily time frame range, even though it's a little overlapping, that weekly time frame is so clearly 5 waves down that I definitely think this is 5 waves down of A. That means that we are likely now in a crutch into this move down, which is likely a wave B. So I'm pretty confident we're in a wave B, and we're probably more likely in the A of wave B, which normally wave A's do at least come back up to the structure of the wave 4. So I don't really think this move up is complete yet. Let me get rid of this on the daily time frame. Let's put a Fibonacci retracement on the daily time frame for the whole move down. Like I said, most wave A's do take out the structure of wave 4, so I think there's a pretty good chance of that. Oh no, Trump is on the calendar again. I looked at the calendar earlier and he wasn't on it. He's probably on. Oh, look, he is too. 8 p.m. What is Trump up to tonight? Events added to the calendar. 163 minutes time due to hold a press conference about the auto tariffs at the White House in Washington. So this must be the auto tariffs that they're putting on the UK and I think Europe and stuff like that for automobiles. So that's probably what he's talking about there. So that man, that definitely could do something for sure. Anyways, I definitely think we're in a wave A right now, and I do not think the wave A is over. I would definitely be looking at this move down right here as likely a crutch into the uptrend. I think it's going to go up to about the 50%, someplace around 93 to 93.5. Take out this high. Then it's probably going to go down, make a big old crutch in for the wave B, and eventually back up for another uptrend for the wave C. Like I said, I definitely think this is a wave B on the higher time frames. So if you are trading the short time frames, which most people probably are, then I would definitely throw your Fibonacci retracement on this move up right here from top to bottom. Most wave Cs definitely do take out the low of wave A, but they definitely don't always have to. But they almost always do go to a Fibonacci level, and the 50% Fib is there, the 65%, 61% is there. I would assume it's either going to do this or possibly this. Either way, definitely looking for longs in an uptrend. Probably up to whatever I said, 93,000 or so, maybe even 100. But yeah, I think the 100 will be hit on the wave C. I think it's going to look like this probably at some point, and that'll be a wave B, and then probably down again for a wave C. I think Bitcoin's going down quite a bit more. I think it could go down into like the 62,000 range, maybe even a little bit lower. I do think it is likely a correction, but I think it's going to go down to 72,000 to maybe 62,000. I think it's going to end up looking something like this on the higher time frames. And I think this was nothing but a big old giant bull trap, in my opinion. Probably something like this. I do think that it will continue the uptrend, but probably not before it stops out all the retail traders that bought up here because the U.S. government was talking about cryptocurrency so much. So much. That right there was like a major retail trap right there, in my opinion, because literally everybody was buying up there because they were like, "Oh, the government's talking about cryptocurrency. Buy Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin." Now it's probably going to make a huge pullback, probably to like 62,000. All retail traders that bought up here at 105 are going to get out of there 62, and then smart money traders will probably ride it right back up. So that's what my opinion is on Bitcoin, at least. Yeah, let's get back to the Forex pairs. Let's see here. So what do we got first? We got the UJ. I know one of my members was short on this today. Hopefully it's going down a little bit. I do think this is going to break out on the daily. I think it's going to break this high right here on the daily time frame. But the question is it going to make a pullback first? In my opinion, it looks like it will because this move up is pretty impulsive. You would kind of expect this to make three waves down back to the bottom of this channel and then possibly go up and break the higher break of structure on the daily time frame after that. I know, like I said, one of our members said he went short just recently. Definitely looks like a wave A. It definitely looks like 1, 2, 3 waves up for wave B. Definitely looks like it possibly is going down for wave C, in my opinion. ABC correcting, maybe 61%. Bam, back up it goes. So that's what I would be looking for on the US dollar yen. And the pound yen is definitely similar in its way. Technically, it hasn't broken structure on the daily, but I am very confident that we are in an uptrend now because of the JPY basket. I think it's going to end up looking something like this. I think we're going up to about 202, probably around the 78%. What level was that? Yeah, 202.22 or so, someplace in that area. But we just hit structure and we just broke it by a little bit, so a pullback is probably pretty likely. Yeah, it did already make a three-way pullback, but I think it's more likely going to make a deeper pullback, maybe a 78% or something, because we did break structure. You know, a pretty significant pullback would probably be likely before it actually does end up continuing the uptrend. So am definitely looking for longs. I would, be targeting the 78, maybe the 61%, possibly even go down and make a new low like that before it goes up. If this is some sort of, oh, that's right. That is what I was saying this morning, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave A. I don't really put any Elliott wave analysis on the 1 hour time frame because I follow 36 some odd pairs. So I only put Elliott wave analysis on like the daily, maybe the 4 hour, weekly, monthly. Because if you follow 30 some odd pairs and you do Elliott wave analysis on the 1 hour time frame, you'd be doing nothing but labeling your charts all day long, which is not good. I bet this is going to go down. It might, and that is what I think is going to happen. I think this is the A. I think that's the A, B, C, or B. I think we're going down for a C. Maybe down to this area. Maybe even give us a break of structure, but then probably end up suiting up. Is what I think is going to happen on that one. Euro dollar. Like I said, the euro dollar just made a pretty good little dump, probably because of Trump scheduling that tariff news that's coming out tonight. Because most likely, if this is talking about automobiles, that he's going to be talking about the tariffs on like Europe, Volkswagen and BMW and all that type of stuff, and probably UK too, honestly. I would expect it, I definitely think we're in a correction to this whole move up now. I mean, originally I was thinking this was possibly an ABC, but once it went beyond that 161% Fibonacci, that analysis went out the window. So I definitely think we're only in a wave A. At some point, it's probably going to drift up, but it's probably going to be a wave B. I would expect to see a proper ABC correction now. I'd probably expect to see potentially something like this. So I am definitely bearish for now. I am definitely still bullish on the very high time frames, like the monthly. I definitely think it's going up, but that doesn't mean that we couldn't get some pullbacks that last several weeks on the shorter time frames. So I was even talking about this morning in my morning video, I believe. I was saying that more than likely it's going to go down to roughly the 38% before we really see too much of a move up. Something like that, probably for an A, for a B, and then probably down for a C, and then probably back up again. So most likely it's going to do something along those lines. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens when Trump starts talking about all those tariffs this evening. I mean, honestly, Trump can ruin a good Elliott wave pattern pretty easily. So watch out for that guy. Da, 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 da. Let's see. You upload analysis videos. Yeah, sorry. I think you were in here yesterday, Jay. My video schedule kind of works around my life, so for now it's gonna stay the same. I'm trying to find something that works. I mean, I do the euro dollar, pound dollar, US dollar, yen, and gold before the London session, and then I also do the Aussie dollar, Kiwi dollar, dollar CAD, dollar Swiss, euro yen, and pound yen right before the beginning of New York session. And then I do the two most popular pairs, which is the euro dollar and gold, right before the market close, about an hour and a half before market close. So that's going to be the schedule for now, definitely. But doing these live streams, I mean, I'm a trader too, so I get to spend time trading and stuff. And I like to go to the gym and stuff like that in the morning. So, anyways, let's see. I mean, I would still be bearish on the euro dollar, at least down to the 38%. Definitely, definitely. Let's see, where were we at? The Aussie dollar. This has actually been a pretty hot topic today because it's a messy pattern. I mean, I see a few different possibilities. We were talking about this a lot today in my Zoom meeting that I do every single day. So definitely don't forget to check out my website if you are interested. You do get access to a lot of benefits, so definitely check that out. But anyways, I see multiple possibilities because this is definitely three waves down. This is definitely what I would consider three waves up. That could be a W right there. That could be an X. This could be an ABC of Y that we are currently making. So it'd be ABC of Y, and it would be a crutch into this last impulsive up right here. And this would probably be the A, but yeah, that's definitely what it looks like. It looks like this is a possibility for sure, but then if you go out to the daily time frame, which I always tend to trust the higher time frames more than anything, because the analysis on the higher time frames a lot of times contradicts what you see on the shorter time frames. So on a higher time phase, I definitely think this is just five waves up for a potential wave one, or maybe a wave A. I think it's a wave one. This looks like just impulsive down wave A. This looks like one, two, three waves up wave B. Looks like we're in a downtrend for wave C. And then it looks like we're potentially going to make a big old giant wave three, or possibly a wave C, which a wave C would probably only go up to the top of this channel. So I definitely do have two possibilities, but either possibility has more downside, I think. I think that we had a pretty nice fib bounce today. I would really like to see a break of structure to help confirm. We really need to break below this level and continue the downtrend to really confirm. But I think either scenario, we should be going down for sure. So I would keep an eye out for that. Looking for shorts in a downtrend. I mean, if you were just trading based on Fibonacci bounces, you could have gone short yesterday right there at the 50%. Took it short. Hopefully would have got out. Worst case scenario, maybe you got in there, got out there because it went back up and made like a spike reversal. That's still a pretty decent trade. And then potentially you could have gone short up here at the close of that candle, and you could still be short because there's no exit. There was no engulfing move. There was no break of structure. There was no reason to get out. So you could have taken a nice short yesterday, a nice short today, probably a pretty decent short on Monday. You could have taken a really nice short on Friday, nice short yesterday, nice short today. Uh, on Thursday last week, a big short. On Wednesday last week, another big short. So hopefully people kind of get the point why I always really say trading with the trend is just the ultimate because, yeah, there's definitely some money to be made on the long side, but wouldn't it be much easier just to trade Fibonacci bounces and just engulfing moves and be like, go short, short, short? Pretty much every single day there's a short. Sometimes it happens during the Asian session, which can cause you to miss a trade depending on where you live. But yeah, definitely looking for shorts. Hey, Adrian, yeah, I could check out the dollar CAD. That one is another one that's actually, oh wow, that did fall through. This is another one that's been a pretty hot topic for the group of mine for the in the Zoom meetings and stuff that I do every day because it's very overlapping. But I think the daily time frame says it all. I think the daily is a wave one. I think the daily is an A. I think this is a wave B, even though it's a little weird shaped. I think we're now going to go up for wave C, and I think this is all in ABC of 2. We might have had the 10 today, honestly. We got a nice 78% fib bounce. Not too bad of a move to the upside. Definitely a breaker structure on the 1 hour. Could possibly be a wave 4 because I see this breaker structure here and then lower lows, lower highs, and then a breaker structure today. So I guess there is a possibility that it goes down one more time and then goes up later on. Keep an eye out for that. That does happen a lot. A lot of times you'll get long on some these type of situations, and then it come to find out it's actually a wave 4, and then it goes down again, and it potentially could stop you out, and then make a wave 5, and then continue the uptrend like you thought it was. Stuff like that happens a lot because a wave 4 will break structure. So if you're looking for a break of structure at a fib level, a lot of times you can get trapped into a long, and then it goes down, stops you out, and then it reverses in the direction that you originally thought it was going to go in the first place. So careful for that. But boy, I would be looking for longs now, especially with that nice fib bounce we got today. It'd make a lot of sense for this to go up pretty nicely. Let's see, what else do we got for requests? US dollar CAD, 86K is a dangerous level. I don't really trade cryptocurrency. I own a tiny bit of Bitcoin. When I say a tiny bit, I mean a tiny bit, like a few hundred pounds, a few hundred euros. The US dollar jumped. Yeah, I know, Luca. Nice. That could be it right there, buddy, Luca. That definitely could be it. And I know it's kind of a weird pattern on this time frame, but it's all about being on the correct time frame. And if you go up to this time frame, it doesn't really look that weird at all. It just looks like a wave A. It just looks like a corrective wave B. It looks like it's going to go up for wave C. It is definitely possible that it goes up and finishes a wave B and then down like that for the C and then up like that to finish off the A, B, C. But actually, it would be this way here. I hope it doesn't do that because that's going to make for a very, very overlapping pattern for probably a month or so. But there is definitely a possibility that this is an A. Let me change colors here. This is an A. So you basically have 3 A's in a row because they're all impulsive. And then this is the B right here. And then it goes up, but the move up is just a C. And this is an A, B, C of B. And then go back to the blue because the blue would be the bigger wave C. Hopefully it doesn't do that because, like I said, it's going to make for a very overlapping pattern if that's what happens. So you have multiple ABCs within ABCs right here. This would be your A, this would be your B, and then up for the C. So that's your main ABC correction. But on top of that, you also got an a B, and a C for the B. But the wave B of wave B, right? The B of B also has an a B, and a C. Pretty confusing, but it makes a lot of sense. And like I said, I kind of hope it doesn't do that. I kind of hope it just goes up. On the daily time frame, I could definitely picture it just going up, making a wave C, and then go down for the wave 3. This is what I hope happens. But what I just showed you on the 1 hour time frame is definitely pretty possible. You know, it goes up, grabs this high, goes down, grabs these lows, goes up, grabs all the highs, and then continues the downtrend. It makes a lot of sense, but I'm hoping it doesn't do that. I'm hoping it just goes up and then down. Uh, April 2nd, which is next Tuesday, right? Yeah, next Tuesday is April. No, next Wednesday. Next Wednesday is April 2nd. April 2nd is when the deadline for all those other tariffs is happening. So next week potentially is going to be a really big week in the markets, especially if he really does change. Especially if he really does introduce all these tariffs. Just real quick, obviously we have Trump on the calendar. It looks like he's talking twice tonight, actually. He's on the calendar twice. He's speaking again at 1 a.m., which is at 8 p.m. U.S. time. We got unemployment claims tomorrow on Thursday for the dollar. We also have GDP for the dollar. And we have GDP for the CAD on Friday. PCE is definitely a good one for the dollar. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Retail sales for the pound. But next week has a lot of news. And starting next week, Europe and the UK is doing daylight savings time. So it's going to be 5 hours difference between London and New York, like it should be. I live in the same time zone as the UK, but I live in Europe. And I'll be glad to see the 5 hours difference because that's the schedule that I'm used to. Anyways, let's see here. The US dollar CAD. The US dollar CAD is a tricky one, that's for sure. It's a weird pattern. Yeah, I just looked at the Aussie dollar. I might look again if I got time. Let me do the Nasdaq because I haven't done that yet. The US 100. Oh man, that is a pretty solid turn down. Wow, man, that makes me even more confident that it's really a wave A and that it really is going to go down again. Oh man, that's nice. Turned right at the 100% Fibonacci extension of the first wave, projected out the bottom of the correction, and it turned at the 38% Fibonacci retracement of the whole move down. So you had a Fibonacci cluster going on right here. Fibonacci extension, Fibonacci retracement, all in one. It's like triple credit right there, double credit. Good stuff. And it's definitely, in my eyes, it's definitely 1, 2, 3 waves up. If it was a wave one and it was continuing the uptrend, then I don't think it would have made 3 waves up. So that means it's almost definitely probably a wave A. This is probably going to be another 3-wave pattern down for wave B. Then it's probably going to make 5 waves up or 3 waves up to one of these higher fibs for wave C. Then it's probably going to go down again. So to be honest with you, now that we got all those fib bounces, I would delete both of these Fibonacci levels, and I would put my Fibonacci retracement from here to here on the 3 waves up, and I'd be looking for 3 waves down to a fib level where there's obvious support and resistance in the past. I would say either the 61% or the 78%. Both look like good levels. Something like this, I bet, over the next few days, and then probably up, and then probably down again. Nice, that's good. We see a nice recognizable pattern here, so that's really good. I don't think I obviously wouldn't be trying to go short now, definitely. I would have to see a retracement. I mean, it might even start to drift up and make a way B, and then later on down for a C like this. I definitely wouldn't try to go short now. I would try to go short at the end of a wave B though when it does, which it might not even do it now. It might drift down more and then go up and make a B, and then down for a C, something like that. We definitely got a little bit of a top bottom right here too, so that's probably a good place to potentially end a wave A, then make a wave B, then probably make a wave C. Let's see here. UK GDP. Isn't it's uh retail sales, isn't it? It might be a low level news event on this calendar. Let's see, Friday. Yeah, we do have pound GDP on Friday, and we also got retail sales on Friday too. So yeah, that definitely between retail sales and GDP, we could see pretty decent move on Friday. Definitely. That's so. I would definitely keep an eye out for that big long. That's what I would really be concerned about. Let's see, US dollar Swiss. Oh, it's finally starting to break up. It's most likely going to make a correction. It's most likely going to break structure, but it's almost definitely going to continue to downtrend eventually. It might end up looking something like this and then continue it down. But I think because of other dollar pairs, it is going to break structure almost definitely. And it's starting to close above the 78% fib. It looked like it was trying to make a short this afternoon. I was almost tempted, but it didn't break structure or anything. It made a pretty nice impulsive move down right there, but it never broke structure, which is the key. Just seeing a Fibonacci bounce doesn't really tell you anything. Seeing a Fibonacci bounce with a nice big engulfing move to the downside, or preferably a break of structure, or preferably maybe on like the 5 minute time frame, see a lower high, that is a good opportunity. But just because you get a fib bounce doesn't mean it's a trade. It could just bounce from a fib level and just keep going up, kind of like what happened here. So I do think it is going to go up and break structure, and I think it's going to make some sort of an ABC correction over the next several weeks. So if anybody hasn't done so yet, definitely do join my Discord channel. It looks like most people have. I'll put the link in the description of the video and in the chats. If anybody is interested in my website, definitely check that out. There's a short video right on the homepage of my website that can explain all the benefits, but it's only $30 a month and you get a lot of benefits. So definitely check that out. It might even go up quite a bit, honestly. It could even go up like this. You know, these bottoms right here become a top and then down again. I don't know. I would have probably got. I almost went short today too. Like I said, I was looking at this impulsive move down today. I was like, "Ooh, that looks like it's trying to make a short." I made two nice 30-minute candles down, but then it didn't make a lower high. It didn't make a break of structure, so I never took it. I think if I had gone down to the 5-minute time frame, it probably would have potentially got me in. Yeah, I think if I had gone down to the 5-minute time frame, I probably would have got in at the close of that candle. 1, 2, 3 ways up. I would have gone short right there. And by the time I got down here, I probably would have moved my, when I saw it go down here and bounce off that, I probably would have moved my stop loss to break even. Then I probably would have got stopped out at break even. Hey, Parliament, how's it going, buddy? Oil, yeah. Nice, listening at work. That's like what I used to do with my mentor all the time because his streams were always at work. I was always at work when he was doing his streams and stuff. Let's see here. We got something else first, right? Just our Swiss. Mm, oil. So yeah, let's check out oil. It's making a pretty impulsive move up, isn't it? I think that this structure line I have right here is not correct because technically I would almost consider this to be the real structure because that's where you can see the lower lows, lower highs without a bunch of noise. You don't want to see all that noise. That's why tuning the frequency of your charts is so important. Because if you're on a too short of a time frame, there's too much noise in the trend, causing you to potentially get false breakouts and stuff. Oh, I think my mouse is about dead. Hold on. You're gonna have to plug it in, I think. Too much clicking today. I'm gonna plug in my mouse. Yeah, there we go. All better. Sorry about that. So on this time frame, yeah, I put my fib like this. It definitely went above the let's see. Definitely went above the 78%. We definitely have some sort of a real turn. It's definitely not just a correction to the last wave down because look how hot it went above the 78%. It is going to break structure, isn't it? Man, I was kind of watching out for this trade too, but I thought for sure we had a little bit more downside. I guess we really do have to see a break of structure to confirm. I mean, I guess it could bounce and go down again, which is definitely what I thought was going to happen. But I still think there's a possibility of $100 a barrel at some point. But I still think it's more likely to go down potentially for several more weeks before it goes up, maybe even a month or two. It could even go down to these lower levels that I got here. The 123 was is around 56.17. The 138 is around 51.53. So I still think there's a chance it could go down to one of those levels and then end up turning up, making the wave to about $100 a barrel, maybe this fall or something. But boy, it's definitely I would definitely be recommending longs right now if you're trading the sort of time frames. See what happens. Unless you get a break of sorts to the downside, then I would switch back to swords. But hmm, yeah, that's a pretty impulsive move up, and it definitely went beyond the 78% for sure. So if anybody has any more requests, definitely put them in the chats. I'd be more than happy to check anything out if anybody wants me to look at something. Pretty interesting that Trump is talking today, yeah? Hey, Joseph. Oh, back to parody, yeah? You never know, honestly. I mean, I don't really, I try not to get married to any analysis, honestly, because anything is possible when it comes to this stuff. There's a guy in our group that's been saying for a while that it's going to go back to parity too, because there's a Fibonacci level right around parity, which is right here. So if you put a Fibonacci on the higher time frame, there's a Fibonacci level right around parity that it really didn't hit. I guess we're going to have to see how this weekly candle closes. I mean, if Trump does those tariffs on Europe for cars in the UK, boy, that probably would be pretty negative for the currency, wouldn't it? You fundamentally. It was a very strong move up. And if this pattern does fail, then that's going to be what I would consider a very clear pattern failing. So I guarantee I'm not the only one that sees this as what I'm calling it, because this is a very clear looking pattern to me on the weekly time frame. As far as Elliott wave is concerned, it seems extremely clear. But the problem is sometimes when a pattern is so extremely clear, it's just a trap. So I mean, it's definitely possible that it is a trap. So this is definitely 5 ways up for for what I think is a wave A. I definitely think it's a wave A. And then this is potentially one down. See how that's one down, one, two, three up. So one down, three up, one down. So there's your 3 waves of A. That's a expanding flat because it's a higher high. And then you have one up, three down, five up. So you have one up, three down, five up. That's another ABC. So that's ABC of B. And now you have 5 waves down. That is definitely 5 waves down. So that is definitely five. That's definitely three down, three up, five down. So in Elliott wave terms, anybody who knows anything about Elliott wave, that is an extremely clear Elliott wave pattern. And if that really is what it looks like it is, then this would definitely go up and take out all these highs. My monthly target is actually still a long ways up there, to be honest with you. My monthly target on the euro dollar is still 1.25, 1.253 area, maybe even 1.3. But this is something that could take years and years to get to. So sometimes when a pattern is extremely clear, it does fail because when the market makers see such a clear pattern, then that's you know I don't really have a bearish scenario. The bearish scenario just is this lower high, 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 lower high. You know, that would be my bearish scenario. Lower high. It's all just lower lows, lower highs. It's definitely down on the monthly. I do not disagree. We are definitely in a downtrend on the monthly time frame. This is all lower highs the whole way down. This chart right here that I have is the yearly chart on the euro dollar. This is this goes all the way back to 1953. Even though the euro dollar hasn't been around that long, I think they used the Dutch currency before that. But this is the euro dollar all the way back to 1953. Doesn't it kind of look like impulsive down, wave A, one, two, 3 waves up, wave B? Now we're in a downtrend for wave C. It definitely looks like that, but I mean, that would be pretty crazy if it went down that far because that's all the way down to zero point 0.7. That's too far, in my opinion. But, who knows? Maybe by 2035 or something, 2040, it could get there. Now, my pound dollar on the very high time frames is a very similar pattern. The euro dollar, I think, is on the weekly time frame. I think it's an expanding flat because it has a higher high wave B, lower low wave C. So higher high, lower low is an expanding flat. A lot of people definitely do draw lines on them, which I think is fine. You know, draw a couple lines, help you see it. So that's your expanding flat. The pound dollar is a flat also. So the pound dollar on the weekly time frame has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up, and then it has one down with the breaker structure, 3 waves up, one down. That's a running 3-wave pattern for an A. Then it has one up, three down, one up. So it also has three down, three up, five down. So this is the 335 pattern, but this is a running ABC because it's a higher high, higher high. So it's a running flat. And you can also draw a couple lines on this if you want. The only time I really draw lines is when I see flats, like expanding in a running flat like that. So that's both of those scenarios have a lot more upside potential. I still think that the pound dollar could eventually make its way up to 1.44, but the euro dollar and the pound dollar are technically in a downtrend. Lower high, lower high. I mean, all these lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. I can't argue that this is a downtrend because it is a downtrend. It 100% is a downtrend, but it totally looks like this: A, B, C, A, B, C, and then down. That's what I think is going to happen, but I could be wrong 100%. A, whoops, I'm sorry. A, B, C, and then down. So that's still my analysis, but I could be proven wrong pretty easily. And sometimes when you see a very clear pattern, it's almost too good to be true. I got my Fibonacci retracement on this move up on the daily. There's only two possibilities. Possibility number one is that this right here is the end of an ABC or something, and now we're in a trend reversal, and it's a complete trend reversal, and then it's going to just keep on making lower lows, lower highs. That's possibility number one. Possibility number two is that we're in a correction to the last impulsive move up. So possibility number two is we're in a correction to the last impulsive move up. If we're in a correction to the last impulsive move up, then I would expect to see some sort of a corrective pattern, an Elliott wave corrective pattern to maybe the 51, 60% or 78%, and then I would expect to see it going back up. To be honest with you, possibility number one, what would we be doing? For possibility number one, we'd be looking for sorts, right? Because it'd do this. Possibility number two, what are we doing? I'm looking for sorts because I would expect something like this. So I don't really give a crap whether it's continuing the downtrend or whether it's making a correction. I don't really care. Because possibility number one, I'm looking for sorts. Possibility number two, I'm looking for sorts. Until I see 3 waves down the Fibonacci bounce, then I'll start looking for longs again. So I don't really care what it does, honestly. You got to be flexible with your analysis. Pound dollar, same exact thing. We have a break of structure, and it definitely is holding below structure. Possibility number one, we are in a correction to the last impulsive up, and it's going to make some sort of a Elliott wave corrective pattern down to a fib level, and then it's going to turn back up. So possibility number one, we're looking for shorts. Possibility number two is it just makes lower lows, lower highs, and blows all these fib levels right out the water. And then at that point, we'll know that it's going down. And possibility number two, we're looking for shorts. So why does it really? It doesn't really matter, does it? Either way, we're looking for shorts, definitely. I think I removed. Oh no, I didn't remove it. But the Aussie dollar technically never did hit the fib level. That's one thing I'm really trying to keep in mind on the monthly time frame. The Aussie dollar technically never hit this 78% fib. So it would make sense for this to pop down one more time and then go up for the 3 waves of Y. It would definitely make sense for that to go down again. Same thing with the Kiwi dollar. Technically, we didn't really bounce from a fib level. It would make sense for this to go down again before it goes up. I don't know. Dollar CAD, I mean, it could definitely go up because it's kind of a move to the upside. And on the yearly chart, I do kind of notice that there is a possibility on that yearly chart today. Oh, where'd it go? Hold on. This is the yearly chart for the dollar CAD. This is from FX top or whatever it is. Um, doesn't this kind of look like a wave A right here, this spike? And doesn't this look like a possible three waves down? Doesn't this look like it could be in an uptrend for a wave C? Take out the high and then turn down? This is a chart that goes all the way back to 1953. So we're talking about uh, what, 50, 60, 70, 71 years of data? If that's true, then this is a correction to the uptrend. It's definitely possible. I don't rule out any possibilities. My dollar CAD analysis is that we have three waves of W, um, three waves. Oops, I'm sorry, I got lost. WXY, yeah. So 1, 2, 3 W, 1, 2, 3 X, 1, 2, 3 Y. So three waves down, three waves up, three waves down for a WXY. I still think the dollar CAD is potentially going down to like the 1.16, but I could be wrong about that too. Like I said, I'm trying to keep these very, very high time frame analysis in mind because I even the monthly time frame is a high time frame and a trend on the monthly lasts years, but it's important because it gives you a general direction. Even if you're trading on the 1 hour time frame, it gives you a general direction of the market for the long term. And you know that if it is going against that higher time frame, that it's just a correction to the upside. And we know that corrections are very overlapping. So if we're in a move down while we're in a monthly time frame uptrend, then it's probably going to be a very overlapping pattern. And the moves to the downside in a monthly uptrend are likely going to be um, the moves down are likely going to be trends. The moves up are likely going to be corrections. The move down is likely trends. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyways, well, let's see here. Anybody else have any more requests? If you do, put them in the chats. What time is that? We got 6:40, so I stay on for close to a full hour as long as people continue to give me requests. So if you have something you want me to look at, definitely put in the chats. I'll be more than happy to look. I don't look at the DXY. I have zero analysis on the DXY. Gold, there we go. The DXY is literally exactly as the US dollar index. It's exactly the same thing. It's just the euro dollar moves it too much. My US dollar analysis or DXY analysis is that we're going down in a wave C and we're in a downtrend. That means that these are in uptrends. But I could be wrong. I never get married to my analysis. And guess what happened on the US dollar this week? We got a breaker structure to the upside. So guess what I'm doing? I'm looking for longs. I'm looking for longs and I expect to see something like this. Right? Yeah, I'll do gold, no problem. So I'm looking for longs expecting this. But if I'm looking for longs and this happens, who cares, right? Am I going to be sad that I'm wrong about my LE wave analysis while I'm looking for longs? And if it just continues the uptrend, that I was wrong about it being a three wave correction? Definitely not. So I'm bearish on the US dollar. I think we are currently in a correction to the last wave down. I think we're at a correction to this. I think it's going to end up doing some sort of a three-way pattern and continuing down. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's look at gold. I didn't even look at gold today. I'm definitely bullish the US dollar for now. For now, I'm definitely looking for longs the dollar, the DXY. Definitely. I think. Oh yeah, gold didn't do much today. I think that we're gonna get one more push up on gold, personally, back up to the 68. I think this is a wave A. I think this is a wave B. I think we're gonna go down for a wave C. I think this is a wave 4 on the higher time frames. It seems extremely clear. This is another thing that seems very, very clear. 1, 2, 3. I mean, that definitely should be a wave 3. This definitely should be a wave 4. And we should almost definitely be in a wave 5. Seems extremely clear that's what's going on. Definitely. So if we're in a wave 4, then we would expect to see a very overlapping corrective pattern on, maybe the 1 hour time frame or so. What do we see on the 1 hour time frame? Definitely a pretty corrective pattern. But I think there is some sort of a clarity here. It's kind of a 3 wave type move down, wave A. This is kind of all a crutch into that wave A, which doesn't look like it's over because it hasn't maintained impulsive movement down, which means it's probably going to go up and grab these highs. Wave B, maybe the 61 or the 78%, and then down for the wave C, and this is all wave 4 on the much, much higher time frames. Looks like we just got a break of structure too, so keep an eye out for pullbacks. This might start to move up throughout the Asian session. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on my charts now because of Trump. Hopefully, the Trump drama kind of wears off a little bit because it's gonna be an exhausting 4 years with him around, having to keep track of these stupid speeches and stuff that he does all day, almost every day. He's doing a speech. I don't live in the UK, but I live in the same time zone as the UK. This first speech that he's doing is at 8 p.m. UK time, and the second speech he's doing is at 1 a.m. UK time. So I live in Europe. I live in Portugal, but I usually by about 7:30 p.m. I'm done. Definitely. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, I can check out that for you. Chinese 20, right? Is that what you asked for? Oh no, you asked for the 50. Oh, that's Switzerland anyway. Sorry, that's Switzerland 20. You might have to remind me what the ticker is for that. Is it China just CN50 or something? No, China A50. I like to use Orlando. It's probably this one right here. China A50, right? I prefer to use HK50. There we go. HK50. Should be the same thing as what I just put in there. Hong Kong 50. Yeah. I don't really like to use Pepperstone. That charts suck. I hate ice. Those charts suck too. We use Forex.com. I want to see if that's the same as this. No, it is different. Yeah, they are different. Okay, well this ain't the one then. First thing I do when I look at anything is I go directly to the monthly time frame, and I throw a Fibonacci on there. I don't care what time frame you're trading. The monthly is pretty damn important. If I hadn't have looked at the monthly time frame, I probably wouldn't have noticed that we just bounced from a fib level. Look what just happened. Like I said, the first thing to do whenever you look at anything is go right to the monthly time frame. My old mentor used to say, you go to the monthly, you work your way all the way down to what time frame you're trading, and then you do it again. And then you do it for a third time. And by the time you do it for a third time, you're ready to start trading for the day. All the way from the monthly, the weekly, the daily, the full hour, the maybe even the 12 hour, the 1 hour. If you're trading the 5 minute or 1 minute, whatever you're doing. Kind of looks like an ABC correction, and that would make sense to me. We definitely just had a fib bounce. Not a lot of data. Kind of makes you wonder if this is some sort of an ABC right here, but doesn't really. I would almost consider that an ABC. And that's potentially an A, and this potentially could be a C. Yeah, it might keep going up because that does look like a wave A right there. That does look like a wave B, and that does look like a possible wave C. I just wish I had more data to play off. But this right here also looks like an ABC right there, and we just got a 78% fib bounce. So Yeah, check out the weekly and the monthly, even if you only do it for a few seconds. Just look at it. I mean, once you get good at it, when I do this on my own time, I can look at the monthly in like 20 seconds, look at the weekly in like 20 seconds, look at the daily for like 30 seconds, look at the full hour, and then down to the 1 hour. I have multiple screens going at a time, anyways. I always have my charts above me on a different time frame. So I have multiple monitors that I can have multiple screens going all at once. So if I'm trading the 1 hour, I can be lots in the higher time frames all at one time. So we definitely got a pretty impulsive move down, but we don't have that break of structure yet. But boy, that definitely went beyond the 78% of this. So that definitely looks like more than just a pullback. And that definitely looks like a five-wave trend right there. I think we're going down for at least a while. I think it's going to go down for a while. On the daily time frame, I would probably get rid of this Fibonacci now. Just leave that on the weekly and the monthly. Then I would put a Fibonacci on the daily time frame from here to here. And I would probably be expecting minimum a 38% or 78% type pullback, something like this maybe. Maybe it does keep going up. Unless this really is an ABC correction, then it's just going to keep on going down. But I would be waiting probably for a break of structure up. And to be honest with you, me personally, I would be waiting for a correction to this last wave down. And then I would go short at a Fibonacci level of this move down when this move down is over. I'd wait for a correction to the downtrend, and then I would go short at the end of that correction. And hopefully it turns into a wave three. Those are the bread and butter trades right there. When you get a nice impulsive down, be patiently wait for a pullback, and then bam, you either get a wave three or a wave C, which normally both of those are impulsive moves. So normally they're both really good trades for sure. So I would be looking for something like that. Oh, that's a 3 hour time frame, but same thing as the 4 hour. It's definitely still down. I think it's gonna break structure, so it's probably gonna go down a little bit more. The Canadian yen, I haven't looked at that one. I can definitely look at it though. I do think all the yen pairs are going up. The Canadian yen is one of the yen pairs that has recently given us a break of structure. So if you go all the way up to the very high time frames, like the weekly, this is another pattern that seems very clear in the LA wave world, which is one, two, three waves up, one, two, three waves down. I think this is now going to turn into five waves up to probably the 61%, then probably make five waves down to the lower level to match this five waves down. So you'd have an A, you'd have a B, you'd have a C. Most likely, something along those lines. I do see the possibility of this being a running flat, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A, and then a B, and then a C, and then it just goes up. But as of right now, what would we be doing on shorter time frames? We'd be looking for longs, expecting this. If I see that, I would stop looking for longs and I'd start looking for shorts. What happens if this really is an ABC cuts and it continues the uptrend? I'd be looking for longs and I wouldn't start looking for shorts because it wouldn't give me a reason to look for shorts. And I would just keep on looking for longs. We definitely got to break a structure. Normally, after a break of structure, we get a push to the downside. What's that, Joseph? I'll look at the monthly if you want again. So normally when you get a break of structure, you do get a pullback. So I mean, it definitely does have what I would consider five waves. So I mean, there is a possibility it makes a pretty decent pullback. I say that should be a wave one. Maybe it is going to go down now that it broke a structure for like a wave two, and then go up for a big old giant wave three in a week or so. But I don't know if I'd be really wanting to go short unless I was trading a very short time frames. We just had a break of structure. Hey Rocky, how's it going? Yeah, I guess with this break of structure right here, and boy, that definitely is five waves up right there. I guess with that break of structure, you can start looking for shorts and hope that it turns into a big old giant wave A, and then turns into a wave B, and then turns into a wave C, and then continues the uptrend. for a wave 1 and a wave 2. Let's see here. So yeah, let's see. I'll look at that DXY again, but like I said, I don't really think it's a big deal what the count is, but I don't have any Elliott wave counts on my DXY chart. I have nothing on there. I guess one thing you could do is throw your Fibonacci retracement on here, like this. I never analyzed the DXY. My mentor wouldn't even look at the DXY. One thing about the DXY though, I do have a little bit of analysis on this. If you zoom out, it would make sense if the DXY went up here and grabbed this liquidity right here. $2002, when is that? That's not here. Oh yeah, 2002. Yeah, right there. Yeah. We're on the same page. I think it would make sense if it goes up there. I just think that this is an A, B, C. It's going to go down and grab these lows right here. Then I think it's going to go up and grab that 2002 high. So we're on the same page, definitely. I just think we're in a correction right now. I think this is going to go down, take out these lows, grab liquidity, and then it's going to go up, take out these highs, which is exactly what I was just saying on the euro dollar. I think it's going to go up. It's the exact opposite, but I think it's going to go up, grab liquidity from here. Then I think it's going to go down and make new lows. Same thing on the pound dollar. I think it's going to go up, grab liquidity. Then I think it's going to go down and grab new lows. But even the move up is potentially going to take, what, 2 years? That's a pretty high outlook. And honestly, what would I be doing right now? I'd be looking for sorts, like I said. So what do I care? If I'm looking for sorts and it does this, that's definitely not going to bother me any. If I'm on the euro dollar looking for sorts and it does this, that's not going to bother me any. Even though I think it's not going to do that, I think it's going to do this. If I'm looking for sorts and it just takes off, well, phew, who cares? Yeah, gold really doesn't want to go up, does it? The problem with gold right now, I know Rocky just joined up. I'll look at this real quick and then I'll probably take off. But the problem with gold right now is we're in a wave 4, and a wave 4 is an extremely corrective pattern. And this is the wave 2, and look how hard to read that would have been at the time. I mean, even now that it's over, it's hard to read. So I definitely think we got a wave A. My original thoughts was that this was the top of a wave B right here, the 61% fib bounce, and that we were actually going to keep going down for wave C, and this was going to be the wave 4. That was my original thoughts, but Menu was saying that he thought it was going to go up and grab the highs, and I usually trust him because he's pretty good with his gold. So it might go up and grab these fib levels, grab all these highs before it goes down. Like I said, I mean, he puts a lot more time into gold than I do because it's the only pair he trades. So when he says that it's going up, I usually listen because he puts a lot of time into it. He does pretty damn good with his gold analysis for sure. So I kind of suspected it could keep going down, but it might just turn into one big old messy pattern. One, go up there, do that, go down there, do that, then continue the uptrend for the wave 5. You're sorting it like crazy right now. One thing that I just started doing recently is Fibonacci numbers. So the Fibonacci sequence numbers. Let me show you what I mean. I have it someplace right here. This is one thing I've been paying attention to a lot. Fibonacci for me is one of the best things to use as far as Elliott wave is concerned, and I've been using Fibonacci number sequences because W.D. Gann, who I believe is one of the best, not one of, but I think W.D. Gann is the best forecaster of the century by far. Like, not even remotely anybody comes close to him. He also used Fibonacci sequence numbers in his trading. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down candles. Then market usually likes to turn Fibonacci sequence numbers on the higher time frames. So we, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, and I think 55, right? I might have to look for those last couple, but most waves do play out in those type of numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That move up was 5 candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The top of this right here was 13 candles. That was 1, 2, 3 candles. That's a Fibonacci number. 1, 2 candles. That's 2 is also a Fibonacci number, and 1 is also a Fibonacci number. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was the bottom. 1, 2, 3. That was the bottom. That's a Fibonacci number. So my point is, right now we're at number 6. The next Fibonacci number is number 8. So tomorrow will be candle number 7. And what's tomorrow? Thursday. So Friday will be candle number 8. Friday is a really likely day to see a turn. If it does not turn on Friday, then I would expect to see 13 down candles. So anyways, that's what I'm going to leave you guys on is Fibonacci sequence numbers. I try to keep these live streams to an hour or under because I do a lot of work for other people. So an hour and it's 7 p.m. So an hour live stream is good. I will be back tomorrow at the same time, same place. And as always, thank you for watching and happy trading to everyone. Don't forget to join my free Discord channel.